Hello, hello, and welcome back to Tennis Ace. I think we'll just get right in there because I've already forgotten what happened. Uh, I've been busy, I'm sorry. It takes us a few minutes to track the female players down, but eventually all the preparations are made. I took the opportunity to go outside and give Kobayashi the all clear to come in. Although some curious onlookers tried to stop their own practice to watch, Coach made sure to get them all back on track. Even then, people keep shooting glances at us every now and then. Yuichi-kun, why don't you serve first? Show me how much you've matured the past 2 years. Yes, Captain. In the end, Morisaki-senpai insisted on having me be his first opponent. On another court, Keikun is about ready to start his match against the Lynx Sasaki-san. Sasaki-san, yeah. I take a deep breath. I take a couple deep breaths, mentally preparing myself for this. I have to admit, I'm excited at the idea of playing against Morisaki-senpai again after so many years. I can't wait to see how much he's changed since going pro. Once the ball is in play, focus only on it and my opponent. I toss the ball high into the air and bring down on my racket to meet it, putting as much power into it as I can. The feeling of the ball leaves the racket was so great, this might just be one of my best serves in a while. While I fully expect to get an ace out of it, Morisaki-senpai quickly reaches the ball before it can leave the court. He doesn't waste any time being timid and immediately goes on the offensive, sending a powerful return to attack my serve. The ball bounces right on the borderline, forcing me to move back a few steps. The resulting motion leaves my posture out of whack, making my shot slow. Before I notice, Morisaki-senpai dashes towards the net. No, that's not quite right. He was already on the net even before I hit the ball back. How did he get there so fast? He volleys the ball with force. Not even halfway through the court when the ball hits the ground and rolls away. 15. Huh. That was a pretty wild serve. Did he really have to say wild? No, the wild part in English? Even though I hit the ball with everything I had, he easily returned it to the worst spot possible. Not only that, he reached the net before I could even notice he had moved. His movement is completely different from 3 years ago, and the quality of his shot has improved a considerable amount. This might just have been luck, but... Yo, Yoichi! You there. Oh, yes, sorry. Crap, I was spacing out and didn't hear him call me. Play resumes on the court. This time I go for a slice that quickly escapes the side of the court. As if anticipating it, Morisaki-senpai does a quick sideways jump to meet the ball right in the center of his racket. His return paints a line on the opposite side of the court. How am I supposed to use my serve advantage when he's already countering my serves? I make a mad dash for the ball, barely managing to tap it. When did his shot become so heavy? I'm having a hard time getting the ball to go over the net. If it keeps going like this, I'm bound to end up making a mistake. Wait, he's already at the net again. When did he... Senpai taps the ball back lightly, a drop volley. In the end, I never had a chance to reach the ball before it bounced twice. 30. I can't accept it. I can't do anything against him on my serve game. That's ridiculous. I'm putting as much topspin as I can onto my next serve. As soon as the ball rises, it's it should spin out of control, making it shoot up higher than normal. If he can't adapt to his swings, he'll miss the perfect point of impact. And even if he sees it coming, he'll have to move further back, and giving me an opportunity to attack. At least that's what should happen. As if he realized what's going on, Senpai immediately dashes at the point where the ball bounces on the court, hitting it right as it rises from the ground before it has the chance to properly bounce. A rising shot is such a difficult shot to make. Even Keikun, the most skillful player at the club, can't hit those properly. Yet this guy, Senpai, hits it easily, sending the ball back at me. Still, this wasn't a perfect return by any means. The ball lacks power when compared to his regular ground strokes. The ball hits the ground a little short of the baseline. I can reach it. I try hitting a straight shot with as much force as I can. What I lack in control, I make up with pure firepower. Even if I can't put it in a difficult position, as long as I can stop him from coming to the net, I have a chance. Senpai has always been weak in the baseline game, even more than the regular serve and volley player. As long as I can keep him anchored in the baseline, I should have a chance. Senpai reaches a ball easily and has ample time to prepare. He hits it with a full swing, sending it to the other side of the court. The ball is going unbelievably fast. I can barely keep up with it. Somehow I managed to reach it. The very tip of the racket makes contact, and the racket is blown out of my grip. What? So much power. Senpai's always had a decent bit of upper body strength, but nothing like this. This is seriously bad. I can't even think of ways to deal with this. Volley, power, speed, control, technique. He far outclasses me in every single one of those. And I haven't even seen him in his serve game. I can't accept being beaten like this. Hey, Michimiya-kun, are you ready yet? It's time to resume play. Crap, I'm spacing out again. Keep it together. Feeling defeated right at the beginning of a game doesn't help. Just take deep breaths. That's it. Calm down. He's gotten me so worked up this quickly. I prepare another serve. Slice topspin flat. He's receiving every single one of my best serves without any trouble. Since there isn't anything that stands as the best option, I'll just go with my personal best. Flat. I hit the ball with everything I have. This is without a doubt the fastest serve I can pull off. The ball must be going at least 190 kilometers an hour. There's no way he can reach it easily. Senpai manages to send the ball back. But I can tell from his stance that shot can't possibly be as much power as the last one. He didn't have time to make a good swing. Against his weakened shot, that is going towards my forehand, I immediately prepare to counter it. I concentrate every ounce of my strength on sending the ball right at the top of the line, on the side of the court opposite to where Senpai is right now. By all means, this should have been the best option. He shouldn't reach it. And yet, the little voice in the back of my head tells me to prepare. Not only is he going to reach it, but he's going to send a strong ball right back at me. Left or right. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Bring it on. I catch myself screaming from the top of my lungs. Before I realize it, I got this worked up. I don't care if I look lame. I just don't want to lose. No matter what happens, I absolutely don't want to lose. Somehow he manages to reach my best shot with absolute ease. If it's going to be like this, then I have to make sure he can't go towards the net. If he reaches the net, it's game over. That's what my instincts are telling me right now. I have to exert myself to reach the ball. I jump towards it, nearly losing my footing as I do so, but I manage to hit the ball back with some resemblance of strength. As long as I make it strong enough, he shouldn't have an opportunity to dash towards the net. Senpai reaches it. I immediately start running towards the center of the court, so as to reach the ball regardless of his shooting and shooting it to left or right. He tapped it. Crap, a drop shot. A perfect shot that takes advantage of my momentary loss of focus. His stance didn't give away what he was doing, what he was going to do until the ball left the racket. For a fraction of a second, I'm rooted in the spot. Damn it, legs, move! I directed all of my energy to my legs and make a mad run for it. I jumped towards the ball, hitting the ground on my chest. Shit, this hurts like hell. Still, I managed to miraculously tap the ball right before it hits the ground. The ball goes up just enough to go over the net. I relax for only just a second. Then a towering orange figure eclipses my vision. He knew all along I'd reach it, and he made his way over to the net. I'm left defenseless as he hits the ball right over my head to take the point. There you go. Game won by me, 1-0. He flashes me a goofy smile. I feel anger surging inside. Most of it is directed at me. It makes every ounce of self-restraint I have not to lash out. Somehow, I am dimly aware that I am boring my fangs. Bearing, not boring. What am I doing? Senpai notices the look on my face. Of course he does. How wouldn't he? He shifts around his spot and glares at me with such intensity that I feel like I'm being shot dead. He has a very smug smile on his face, as if he's enjoying seeing me like this. It's strong enough to make me freeze on the spot. Oh. I'd like the look on your face, Yuichi-kun. Okay then, I'll play seriously now. Let's see if you can entertain me for a little bit. I'm completely dominated during the serve game. I can't even properly return the ball at first, and he scores many aces off of it. Near the end of the match, I realized that I didn't even get a single point during the whole thing. Yay, 6-0, I win. Better luck next time, Michimiya. Senpai walks away, laughing. I clench my fists in frustration. My claws threatened to puncture the palm of my hands. He didn't take me 10 minutes to completely dispose of me as if I were garbage. This is so frustrating. Michimiya-san. Keisuke taps me on the shoulder. Looks like you didn't fare any better than I did. Yeah. Did you manage to score a single point? No. Not once. It's so frustrating. Keikun nods. I wonder what their rank is in the World League. If I find out that they're in the 700s or something like that, I'll lose it. I know what you mean, but don't worry. Last I checked, Morisaki-senpai was 421. Well, that makes me feel a little better at least. Let's try to win at least one set by the end of the game. Right. Keikun lifts his hand high, and we share a high five. That's kind of cute. All right. I'm feeling pumped up again. Junkun fidgets uncomfortably at a nearby corner. That's true. He's been watching me this whole time. Did I scare him? I really need to get a grip. It won't do me any good if I'm so angry that I can't think straight. So, are you ready? I turn around to see Sasaki-san standing behind me, holding his racket in hand. His clothes have barely any sweat on them. It's as if the set just now barely even winded him, which, considering how short it was, it probably didn't. We didn't even need to take breaks during the whole thing. The Link smiles, and by that I mean that the corner of his mouth barely curves a little bit upwards. I saw a bit of your match. You're an interesting player. I didn't think a high schooler was capable of making Morisaki play seriously. This might be a decent learning experience. With no other words, he began to walk towards one of the empty courts. It took me a second to react and follow behind him. Once we both took our positions, Sasaki-san grabbed a couple balls and waved at me. I'll take serve, if you don't mind. Since you already started with the serve last game, I'm sure you'll be okay with it, right? This guy's a little pushy, isn't he? But I guess I'll let this one pass. After the last match, I think I prefer having him take the first serve. I'm afraid of thinking about the psychological damage that getting broken on the first game would cause. It might be better to serve second, so as to lower my expectations on the match. Or maybe I'm being too timid. No, this is fine. I should take the chance to see how he plays. Kenma-san picks up a ball in his pocket and starts bouncing it on the court. After a few bounces, he gripped the ball tightly in his hand and focused on me. Something about the way he looked at me made me uncomfortable. It was like he was analyzing me, just looking for weakness. He makes me feel uneasy. He tosses the ball high into the air and slams his racket against it. It's fast, really fast. Not on the same level as Morisaki-senpai, but it might just be faster than mine. I reached the ball with little difficulty and hit it back at him. Unfortunately, my return was shallow, and the Lynx wasted no time in attacking it. 15-0. You'll have to do better than that if you want to take a point from me. He said that with a smile on his face. This guy pisses me off. By the end of the 12th set, I couldn't even keep myself standing. It took me over 3 hours to get it all done, with only a few minimal breaks here and there. And even then, when you consider how many sets it was, it should have definitely taken much longer. That's how overwhelmed we were. As soon as the last point was scored, I dropped to the floor, unable to keep myself standing. Even scoring a single point was hard, but the best I could do was get 2 points against Morisaki-senpai. The girls, on the other hand, did a lot better than us. Saya even managed to take a set from one of her opponents. Kobayashi stood over me, looking at me with worry. Are you all right? Maybe I should go get the nurse. I'm fine. The only thing broken right now is my pride. I forced myself to stand up again, heaving heavily from exhaustion. It's been a while since I've been thoroughly beaten like that. It's incredibly frustrating, but it also feels refreshing somehow. I can't even remember when I last felt so completely useless. Suddenly there was a wall ahead of me whose limits I couldn't even see. Instead of feeling discouraged, I felt a sudden burst of excitement. Well, I guess you had a lot of fun then. All things considered, kind of made me wish I could play tennis too. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed watching us. I'm still in awe by the distance Morisaki-senpai managed to put between us in these 2 years. Just how did he manage to get so much better? How are you feeling, Mijimiya-kun? Mostly frustrated, but, well, these kinds of things are good, too. Once in a while. You've changed a lot, you know. I guess I have changed a little bit. Things are a lot tougher in America than I thought they'd be. I was pretty confident in myself when I first got there, but I was quickly mowed down by them. To be honest, there are currently 12 guys in our tennis club and I'm the weakest of them. That's a depressing thought. Still, I'm the one that's surprised. I was pretty disappointed when we played our first set, you know. Oh, sorry. I guess I didn't quite live up to your expectations. Senpai gasped and started frantically waving his arms in denial. No. That's not what I meant. Well, it's true that I was expecting you to be much better, but To be honest, it's scary how much you've improved over the day. I got used to my, you got used to my speed in a flash. By the end of the last set, I was actually struggling to score. Really? It didn't feel like he was struggling at all. Well, I guess we'll have to see how things go over the week. Morisaki-senpai was surprised, as if he finally realized he hadn't said a word about it yet. I'm glad we agreed to, Maida-san's idea. It's been so long since I've been in Japan. I'm still a bit jet lagged from the trip. Can you imagine how tough I'd be if I played at the tournament feeling like this? How do you think you'll fare in the competition? I'm not too sure. The prize is pretty big, but it's worth quite a lot of points, so I'm sure it's attracted quite a lot of high-ranking players. And I still need to take part in the qualifiers after all. Kaito, hurry up already. The van is already here to pick us up. Sasaki-san shouts from the entrance. Sorry. Sorry to cut this short, Yuichi. I'll see you tomorrow. See ya. I wave the two goodbye as they leave our building. You guys look like you get along pretty well. I nod. Morisaki-senpai used to be the club's captain when I first joined the school. That explains it. By the way, Kobayashi. Just June is okay. Feels a bit pointless to be so formal since we're going to be seeing each other every day. Well, okay. If I can have an excuse to drop all the stiff deference, then I have no reason to not to. Was it fun? Feel like it was worth coming? Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun. The white hair felt like he was an amazing player, even though half the time I had no idea what was going on. His name is Keisuke. You're right about him being an awesome player. Not very physically imposing, but he's very skillful and fast. That's why I hate playing against him. He just makes me run all over the place, and it's a chore. June follows me all the way to the locker room. I put my bag on the bench next to my locker and sit next to it, picking up a towel from inside it. Crap, my legs are hurting so much that going home might be a problem. I start taking off my clothes. Upon seeing this, June makes a weird noise and turns his back to me. Anyway, Yuichi-san, it was really fun watching you play today. I think I might come cheer for you in the next tournament. Really? Thanks. That'd be appreciated. I finish toweling myself off and spray myself with strong deodorant. Since I don't feel like showering at school, I'd at least make sure I don't stink of sweat. You can turn around now. June glances over on my way before turning around slowly. Sure, I'll come. You can also come to my piano competition if you want. If I didn't have good hearing, I probably would have missed that last part. A piano competition? Those are a thing? Junkun nods a little more confidently. Yes, they're a pretty big thing in Japan. You can gain scholarships for big name schools if you do well on those. Actually, I used to participate a lot when I was a kid, but anyway, I'd like it if you could come. Sure. If I don't have a game scheduled for the day of your competition, I'll go. I'm at least a little bit interested after all. Well, I've got to get going anyway. Thank you very much for bringing me over. See you tomorrow. See ya. I lean against one of the lockers, letting my body get some rest. My whole body is sore. It's been a while since I've worked this hard. From the corner of my eyes, I see Keikun entering the locker room and heading towards his locker. Damn it! He punches his locker with full force, leaving a dent on the metal. Keisuke turns towards me. His face is completely wrapped in anger. Warped? Yeah, in anger. That damn Lynx, that guy is so cocky. What happened? He seemed pretty nice to me. He came up to me after the last match and said, if that's how far you can go, then you should forget about placing a national competition. Who the hell does he think he is? Damn it! Did he really say that? Also, spare the poor locker. It didn't do anything. That's a horrible thing to say, no matter how true it might be. Yeah, he did. I know I'm not good enough. I know that. He didn't have to say it. I grab Keisuke's arm before he punches the locker a third time. All right, stop right there. I get that you're angry, but you really need to calm down. Punching things won't solve anything. What would you do if you severely injured your hand, you idiot? Sit. Sit! Yes. Good. He's not resisting as much anymore. I kneel down in front of him, gently inspecting his hands in search of any injuries. It's fine, just leave it be. Keikun tries to push my hand away, but I make sure to hold on to him firmly. That's when I see a big cut between his ring finger and his pinky. Without hesitation, I press into it as hard as I can. Ow, what's the big deal? This! I press the injury one more time, making him squirm. This is not fine. I'll pick up the first aid kit and treat your wound. You sit there and don't you dare move. Even though he seems annoyed at my order, he makes no effort to get up. At least he's obedient. Looking at his locker, I can see 2 dents on it. Looks like one of his punches were right at the edge of his locker. Of course he ended up cutting himself. It takes a bit of work, but I make sure his wound is clean and disinfected properly. There. The cut is big, and I don't think it'll need bandages. It'll probably be sore for a while, so be careful. Thank you. Yes? I'm sorry I yelled at you. I shouldn't have lost my temper. All you were doing was try to help me. Don't worry about it. It was interesting, though. That was the first time I've ever seen you angry. Yeah, not my finest moment right there, I'll admit. Still, thanks for taking care of me. I'd be lying if I said I didn't understand how you feel. Don't think I'm not frustrated about the whole thing either. Huh. Maybe we should have a strategy meeting to come up with ways to beat them. That's... Keikun freezes mid-sentence. Actually, that's a great idea. You've adapted to them the fastest. Perhaps you can give me some insight into what I can do. I was just Alright, it settles then. I'll buy you some ice cream. What? If anything, does that have to do with finding ways to beat them? Keikun, I don't think... Oh, shut up. I want to thank you for today. Huh, so that's what this is about. You could stand to be a little bit more honest. Keikun starts taking off his shirt to get changed, though he quickly freezes when his shirt gets close to his nose. There's no way I could get away without a shower. Let's go, Yuichi-san. No, I'm already set. I point to the bottle of deodorant spray on my bench. Really? You think that's acceptable? Well, yeah. It's been enough so far. Do you have any idea how much we sweat today? I'm not going out with a guy that smells like a pile of rancid clothes. Can you be a little less fussy? I'm already taking you out. The least you can do is shower. You never even asked of me if I wanted to be taken out. Fine. Get off my tail. I wish for a towel in my bag and start undressing. Keikun does the same behind me. I still hate being undressed in front of other people. I wrap myself in a towel before taking off my underwear, quickly making my way to the shower. I managed to get myself into the shower booth before Keisuke even has time to get into the shower. Still, he manages to take the one right next to mine. They only have cold water here. Oh, wait. Keikun, I didn't plan on showering here, you know. I don't have shampoo or soap. I'll slide you some underneath the booth. Ah, thanks. You know, you surprised me this time. How so? You're always going out with us, but you never actually invite any of us to go out with you before. Hell, You're in my house all the time, and I have no idea what yours looks like. My house is exactly the kind of place I'd like to take guests. Isn't exactly. But I can see your point. I'm sorry for never inviting any of you anywhere before. It's fine. I'm not asking you to invite me over. It's just, when you get used to someone never asking you out, you get surprised when they do. I guess. I can kind of get what you're saying. Still, you helped me out. I'd feel bad if I didn't return the favor. Heh, shoot yourself. I have no reason to say no anyway. Who says no to free ice cream after all? Oh. Well, doesn't he look snazzy? Keikun takes me to a shop a few blocks away from the school. Funny, I've passed by this street a few times and I've never noticed this place before. It looks so... chic? Chic. Is that... or is it... cheek? Huh. Wow, I never knew this place existed. Yeah, it's pretty great. I only found out about it last summer. No, it's one of those self-service parlors that sell ice cream by weight. I like places like that. They're always the best bang for your buck. While I'm standing around in a daze, Kid-kun quickly serves himself. The clerk writes it down on a card and hands it to him. Stop standing around and get your serving. I'm gonna be sitting in that booth over there. Oh, right. I make my way to the freezer and see the various flavor stickers. They all look real tasty. I wonder if there's any price difference between flavors. Let's see their menu. 1,800 yen per 100 grams? That's insane. A kilo of this would be more than my monthly allowance. I do a complete 180 and sit in the booth in front with Keikun without taking anything. Why didn't you get anything? You know what? I don't feel like eating ice cream. The only reason I brought you here was so I could treat you and just get something. How can someone be so oblivious? And more importantly, how can he be okay with treating someone to something this expensive? It's just, I'm not comfortable spending this much money on ice cream. This much? Keikun's gaze flicks towards the menu for a second. Oh. He sits there in silence for a few seconds, analyzing what he's going to say. You don't know? Know what? His eyes widen in complete shock. What is this thing that I'm supposed to know? My name is Ushihara. Ushihara, yeah, okay. Doesn't it ring any bells to you? No, shouldn't it? Should it? He gapes, looking even more surprised than he already did. Slowly, he leans over his chair and whispers to me. Haven't you heard of the Ushihara Corporation? The biggest tech conglomerate in the world. You know, designers of the most popular computer operating systems and phones. If I'm not mistaken, your phone was manufactured by us too. Huh? Us? Huh? Wait. Ushihara Corporation? Wait, he's that Ushihara? You're kidding! I guess it finally makes sense why you always treat me just like an average Joe. So I guess you're going to start treating me differently now that you know. Mine is completely blank for a second. I'm just... wow. I finally snap out of my near trance I was in, having to clear my throat and a few times to get my voice working. No, I don't care about your family. I don't care if your family is rich. I was just shocked. Wait, is that why you've never invited anyone over? Keikun shifts on his seat. Yeah, I gave up on having friends over a few years ago. Most people only seemed interested in being my friend and befriending me so they could enjoy the perks that come along with being my friend. To be honest, I had completely given up on having friends who really care about me for who I am instead of what I have. You, Mizoguchi-san and Urata are the only people who've ever actually shown any interest in getting to know me for me. Oh, God. It's a horrible thing to say, but I can understand. People can be very shallow. Once I became a little famous, a bunch of kids my age started approaching me just because they thought that they'd raise their status if they were seen with me. Not that my situation is even remotely comparable to yours, but of course. Keikun looks completely stunned by my words. Oh man, I didn't expect this. Funny, I brought you here to thank you for making me feel better, and instead you ended up consoling me again. Thank you, Yuichi-san. Well, I'll be damned. I never knew this side of Keikun. Well, now you know why I didn't mind bringing you over. So please, go get yourself some ice cream. After you were so nice to me today, I want to treat you no matter what. Keisuke basically kicks me out of the booth, laughing. Alright, I'm going. Stop kicking my shin. Okay. We spend a good deal of time talking and having fun. You know, he's kind of cute, but yeah, you know, Shoichi exists. I've already eaten most of my ice cream. The little bit left on the bottom has already turned into a soupy mess that I will definitely not waste because this is very expensive soupy mess. Thanks for coming with me today, Yuichi-san. It's good to talk to someone without worrying about their interest in me because of me or because of my family. I'm a bit curious now. Do Saya-chan and Shoichi know about your family? I know for a fact that they're not the type of people to care about that kind of thing. Plus, Shoichi's dad also makes quite a bit of money, so it's not like he needs any. Not as much as your family, though. At the mention of Shoichi's name, Keisuke's demeanor immediately changes. Actually, that just might be an opportunity to prod him about it. Hey, Keikun, I actually have a question. Yes? Why do you and Shoichi bicker so much? You guys don't look like you dislike each other, but... Just as I expected, his entire face scrunches up at the mere mention of Shoichi. It's not... I don't dislike him. It's complicated. Yeah, that actually answered nothing at all. Okay, why? Keisuke sighs. I'm not really sure. He's a nice guy and I do like him, but he always ends up doing or saying something that pisses me off. But like I said, I do like him. I like him too. So, you're like two friends who bicker? A lot? Something like that. I do think of him as a friend, yes. I mean, I've had friends like that. That we just like... that I think of as like, we're friends, but we just argue all the time, and I think it's fun. Usually they end up breaking off our relationship because they're like, we're not even friends. And I'm like, I think of you as a friend. We always argue, you hate me. And it's like, well, no, I don't. We just argue. A lot. It's fun. Good to know. I ready myself to get up and discard the plastic cup, but Keisuke holds my arm. Wait, it's my turn to ask you a question. Oh, sure, shoot. Why does it matter to you whether we get along or not? That's hard to explain. Well, Shuichi is my best friend. I've known him since we were little kids. The two of us are always spending time together. And I also like you a lot. You're pretty dependable and easy to get along with. But even though you're definitely part of our group, it always feels like you're keeping your distance. I guess I worry that you're just avoiding us to be away from Shoichi. Keisuke lets go of my hand. His fingers start tapping on the table in front of him. Well, that is not untrue. However, I'm with you guys. I always worry that I'm going to ruin your fun. I mean, the few times we went out together during spring break, I could tell how annoyed you and Mizoguchi-san were when he and I argued. I guess I was afraid I was being a burden. Wow, I didn't expect him to be so honest with me. Don't be. I won't lie, you two get on my nerves every so often, but even so, it's nice having you around. You're a good guy. We aren't going to forget that. Just forget that, because you and Shoichi are fighting. My words seem to strike him deeply as his eyes widen. Thank you, Yuichi-san. That actually means a lot to me. That's a cute scene. I liked that a lot. But I think we'll end the part here, so I'll see you around, everyone.